Hello, guys. Listen, and welcome to the show this morning. Uh, I detect some sort of a little bit of a manipulation in the financial system, a little bit of a turnaround this morning in a few things, a few items in the financial system. And this turnaround, I think, has everything to do with what's going on with the Turkish lira. But I think it's a temporary thing. I think what they've done is I think the Exchange Stabilization Fund has rushed in to the scene and has tried to bandage the scene, has tried to bandage things using money behind the scenes. And what it's done is it's flipped a few of these markets this way and that way. I think one of the markets that's flipped this morning is silver. And also, I think it's flipped the bond market. Of course, it's flipped the lira. And it's now I can't directly see this manipulation, but I can see the effect of it through certain threads of the world's financial markets. I think now I see I'm speculating about all this. Of course, now see the Federal Reserve, their strong arm that they use to dispense money through the system is the Exchange Stabilization Fund. And this is a fund that has got tremendous amounts of money. It basically goes back to the fact that they stole the money from the American people by making gold. What they basically did was they bought all the gold. They made it illegal to own gold, and they bought all the gold at a certain price. And then what they did was then they rearranged the price up almost 100% higher. And then they took all that money and they used it to start this exchange stabilization fund. And so what we have is we have an entity that's able to do what it wants within the financial system, that has trillions of dollars to its disposal to try to manipulate markets and stuff like that. So I suspect. I mean, I'm just suspecting this. This is all just theoretical on my part, what's happening in the situation. So let's open up the charts and let's take a look at the markets right now. Open the charts. Now, the first thing we're going to take a look at is the silver price. And we're back up to $14.75. And she's going up this morning. I mean, back up. I mean, this thing has been smashed down from like 1650 or 1720. That's the range it should be at. And I mean, we're way down. I mean, even though we've come back up a little bit, oh my God, we were down so bad yesterday. Terrible slaughter on silver. Let's take a look at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin right now is 63.34. Well, 63.36. So we're not in that little slump that happened there where the price went down. Let me see if we can find that on the wider chart. Right here, 58.80. A little slump in the price. And now she's back up. If you look at the trend since she touched 58.80, the basic trend has been upwards, but the upward momentum is starting to taper off just a little bit today. And I'm expecting it to come down and touch probably, to keep trying that touchstone. She keeps testing that resistance level. And so she'll probably come down. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if she comes down and touches that resistance level again, which is going to make a great buying opportunity. I can almost even estimate where I think it's going to touch that. I think it's going to just break through that resistance level of 6,000 again and probably bounce off of it. Now, it's a 50-50 chance whether it's going to go through that resistance or whether it's going to move to the upside soon. And here's the thing. If it goes down through and it breaks through that resistance, it's probably going to stay down for quite a long time before we go into our next bull market, if it breaks through the resistance. But eventually it will go into the next bull market. Okay? So it'll make a wonderful chance to accumulate cryptocurrencies. If it doesn't break through that resistance and it goes to the upside right now and goes into a bull market, we've got a premature. It's done it prematurely. And if it does it prematurely, it's not going to go as high as it would go if it goes down and breaks through the resistance and stays down for a long time. If you understand what I'm saying. All right? And so it might be actually better for us if it breaks through the resistance and stays down for a long time and leaves us a chance to accumulate. It'll be better for us, the normal people out there, because when Bitcoin goes up to its final highs that it's going to go to, eventually you won't be able to afford to buy in anymore. And if the train's left the station, you won't be able to catch the train, basically. So if it stays down for a long time, it's going to give you a chance to basically get on board that train. Let's take a look now at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We got a pop happening this morning. It's popped up 352 points this morning, 1.4%. This is the first real good pop-up we've had in a long time in the market. And this, again, is that manipulation. I suspect this is the Exchange Stabilization Fund's actions that's caused the market to pop. This is what I suspect. Let's take a look at crude oil right now. 0.14%. 0.22%, but 0.14. So 14 cents up on crude oil. That's nothing really. It's still low. 65.15 is low. It should be up around $70 really. Bonds and rates, we've got the bond yields on the long end of the curve popping today and falling on the short end. This moves against the flattening yield curve, but but there really is still low. Bond yields are still low. Eventually, we're going to see much higher bond yields when all of this breaks. Just like the silver market's going to break. They're going to break it. They keep pushing it down. Silver's the most vulnerable market out there. Vulnerable because of the amounts of silver that are available for sale are very, very crucially small amounts. And most of these amounts come from the miners every year, and they've been running a deficit for years. Now what we're dealing with is the mines are going into lower grade ore quality. The ore quality is lower and lower every year, and the miners are having a harder and harder time to keep up with these greater demand for silver, and it's just rough all the way around. And what they got at the other end, on the other side of this, is they got the manipulators manipulating the price downwards with paper short contracts. And it's absolutely getting to be to the point of ridiculous where the miners are not going to be able to make any profit. They won't have any profit margin anymore. What would you do? If your employer came in and he said, hey, you know what, George, I'm only going to pay you $10 an hour this month. You say, well, okay, that's the minimum wage or whatever. And then the next month he comes in, I'm only going to pay you $8. And then the next month he comes in, I'm only going to pay you $6. There's going to come a point when he gets down like he's only paying you $6. It ain't worth you coming to work. It's going to get to the point where he's down low enough where it ain't worth you coming to work anymore. And that's the way with these silver miners. I mean, they're going to get down low enough on this price where it ain't going to be worth their while. And so they're going to start to cut back on silver production, and drastically, while the world is needing more silver for industry all the time. And they waste the silver. They're going through it. It ends up in the landfill. But that's where it actually ends up. It ends up in the landfill in electronic products that have went bad, and that's it. And it's not worth it. It costs like $250 an ounce to recycle it out of those electronic products, and silver only sells brand new for $14 an ounce. No, they don't recycle it. They just dump it, But believe me, there is a day coming in the future when they are going to dig those old computers out of the landfill and they're going to try to recycle that silver off of those boards. There's a day coming. And that means that I'm thinking that the price is going to be high enough where it's actually worth their while to do that. And that's what we got coming. Now, look at the U.S. dollar index. She's still staying high. The Turkish lira has bounced a little bit, and it's staying bounced. So I just think that they're controlling everything to keep a crisis from happening right now. I think we'd be in the crisis if these markets were not manipulated. So anyway, thank you guys for listening to this market report. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you again very soon. Bye-bye for now, guys.